It's a fact that you can train your brain to remember better, learn faster, and achieve mastery in anything you could want. Yes, I mean anything. And knowing how to train your brain, or learn, faster will give you an extremely unfair advantage over your peers, and will also drastically increase your earning potential. Abraham Lincoln once said, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe." In these words, he's describing the power of preparation, and preparing how you are going to learn will change your life. But how can you prepare your learning? Well, you need to learn how to learn, which is exactly what you'll do in this video. Also, the scientific information I'm about to explain was taken from Dr. Andrew Huberman, so thanks to him as a credit. Learning can be split into 2 parts, the learning itself and what you do after learning. The most vital processes to learning actually occur after the learning itself, but let me explain how you should be structuring your learning first. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to change in response to an experience, so basically learning. And the trigger for neuroplasticity to occur is driven by dopamine, norepinephrine, and acetylcholine. Acetylcholine normally controls the contraction of muscles, but in the brain it acts as a marker, and it marks particular neurons which could become stronger later on. The more you focus on a task, the greater amount of acetylcholine is released. Therefore, the more you focus, the more potential you are giving your brain for growth. So when you're learning, you simply must maximize focus. I'll make a video on how to optimize your focus in the future, but in simple terms, you must learn with external factors that minimize distractions and optimize your personal concentration. These external factors include the environment, so where you're learning, where do you focus best? Sound, what you're listening to, do you focus better with music or in silence? Time, how long can you actually focus for? And caffeine. Do you work better while caffeinated? Everybody is different, so test out different external factors and find what works best for you and your focus. Once you're learning and focusing correctly, what should you then do after learning? The actual rewiring of the brain happens during deep sleep. Remember the neuroplasticity I mentioned earlier? Well, it's a 2-part process, not an event. A study described by Dr. Andrew Huberman showed that people who take a 20-minute nap within 4 hours of intensely learning learned that subject matter much faster than people who didn't. This is because their brains were given the environment to rewire much faster and more often. However, the most powerful tool for rewiring your brain to learn is the long, deep sleep you get the same night as the day you learned. So make sure you're getting great sleep quality and a minimum of 8 hours. The thing that people don't seem to understand about learning is the rest. Yes, you must focus on what you're learning, but you then must rest and allow your brain to rewire. Next, you must take action on what you're learning. Test yourself. Or if you're learning something untestable such as a social skill, take action by using what you've learned. Talk to your barber when getting your hair cut, but just make sure you wait until you get home to start letting your brain go idle again. Active recall of what you've learned will strengthen the neural connections you have let your brain develop during the rewiring process and allow for long-term memory gain. So in order to learn really fast, you must intensely focus for as long as you can by optimizing external working factors. After focusing and learning the content, you then require deep sleep as fast as possible in order to allow your brain to rewire itself. And lastly, you must implement what you've learned by testing yourself or taking action. So obviously, focusing is incredibly important. And if you want to learn how I personally make myself focus for hours at a time, click the video on screen now. I also have a Twitter and a newsletter where I share life lessons like in this video in the description. And thank you for watching.